Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello, gods and goddesses. Welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under, usually. Yes, you heard it. After 5 years, I caved. I am so ashamed. We are reviewing a book today that is $150. It is a rare, antique book. I think it even survived the Trojan War. Each page of this book is made out of pure gold. It was written by God, and only the wealthy 1% reads this book. So, I know, dear listeners, I know you're disappointed in me, because today's book does cost $7.39. I mean, listen, sometimes you do have to splurge, especially when it comes to the book Neon Gods by Katie Robert, which we are reviewing today. And to be fair, I did read the book twice, so mathematically, each read was $3.70. And also, I will make it up to you by doing something that right now is incredibly self-serving. Like, I'm going to start talking about it, and you're going to roll your eyes, and you're going to be like, oh my God, Becky, you're so desperate. Ugh, you're so Hollywood. But listen, I am performing my solo show Tight, Sexy Stories About Pelvic Pain at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in Los Angeles this coming June. And there is a special discount code for TSTL listeners that will get you $2 off the regular ticket price. The code is TSTL. So if you're in Los Angeles, I would love to see you there. You can find more information about the show and dates and everything else on the show notes at tstlpodcast.com or tight-show.com. Okay, so enough of me talking about my solo show. Let's get back to me talking about my podcast. So today's guests are good friends of mine from my old improv days, Marlene Maginot and Kevin Pedersen. They are so funny and hilarious and smart, and this episode is a blast. A bigger blast than, let's say, a lightning bolt from Zeus himself. So please enjoy this review of Neon Gods.
Leave meeting.
Oh no. Oh my God. This is already going off.
I thought we were just chatting. We were just going to chat for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wanted you guys to read a book and just wanted to talk about it for no apparent reason. No, like anything for myself.
But we can record it just to, to go over it again, I guess.
Okay, sure. Just in case like other people want to hear, your thoughts on this amazing book. And by thoughts of yours, I mean Kevin and Marlena's thoughts. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I have wanted to get you guys on the show for years, and now you're here.
Oh, I'm flattered.
You should be.
Like,
you should be flattered.
I feel like, well, we're a real Persephone and Hades situation here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Party and you're invited. And
I don't know if we want to have Becky over for a party like that.
I mean, I'd go once, you know? I'd go once and be in the background and just watch and then be like, okay, I did it, you know?
well,
so yeah. Oh, go ahead. Oh, what were you going to say?
I mean, maybe we won't get to it, but I think that going once factors into maybe how I felt about the ending of the book.
Right.
Maybe I'm a little scattered. This is not the time to bring it up.
No, we can bring it up. Listen, we are reviewing Neon Gods. It's been taking the world by storm. But before we get into the book itself, you guys were interested in reading this book prior to coming on the show. Kevin you mentioned it.
I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
And it was number one. So I have an Audible subscription. Mm-hmm. And like we were just saying before the podcast started, I mostly just listen to audiobooks while I'm, doing things as people do with audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And Marlena, you read.
I do read. Thank you.
You actually read books. So I it was like the number one on a romance and erotica, and so I was interested in it.
Cool. So do you guys have an interest in Greek mythology?
When I was in middle school, I feel like I really liked Greek mythology. I had one of those, those big books of Greek myths. Mm-hmm. And then I read that book, Circe, that came out, and I really liked that book, which is a modern retelling of the Circe myth. But I guess, I'd go and look at some Greek statues if you dragged me.
All right.
I feel like I've got as much of an interest in Greek mythology as a normal amount would be. I've seen Hercules, and we have some books about Greek myths that we'll show our kids. But then if they don't read them, we don't get angry and be like, how do you not understand Orpheus?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to Hades Town in the car a few times. So kind of that. I'm not a Greek scholar, I don't think.
No, I feel like I could point out a few Greek gods, if it came up in a trivia contest or something.
There was a lot of little Easter eggs in this book. It was a lot of that fuck boy at the party, Orpheus. And it's I know who he is. And I think they might be setting up a sequel with the Hercules reference, that he's out there somewhere.
Yep.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's happy, I think was what they said. So
yeah,
we'll find out.
I did, in preparation, reread it yesterday because I was I loved this book already. I'm telling you now. But I also, in preparation, academic preparation, did watch the Disney Hercules.
Imagining that Hades, well, not just the Disney Hercules, but our kids have really been watching a lot of The Descendants, which, for people who don't know, it's a live action world. Well, Marlena, you were saying this book reminded
me of The Descendants, where it feels like fan service, a little bit of you like Corella, let's throw her son into it and see what he's up to. And then all of the dialogue in The Descendants is also a little porny, so very similar.
Interesting.
I was just saying there's a guy in The Descendants that's Hercules, and he's that's Hades, and he has the blue hair and everything.
Oh, he's it's the guy from 30 Rock, that's a Broadway actor. I forget his
Cheyenne
name.
Jackson?
Yes, he plays Hades.
Now, okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good Hades. Like, if you were gonna say like whoever did the voice, like Jim Woods or whoever did the voice in the show, I'd be like, "Boo, mama!" But then he'd be a good Hades. He's very sexualized on RuPaul's Drag Race, so I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I had him in mind through this book.
Okay, see, I had 50 Shades guy, Jamie Dornan, throughout. He was my Hades. Yeah.
Because of something in the book, or just in general, he just felt like a good stand-in.
I felt like he was like a good stand-in because like he like I hate the character. I respect 50 Shades. I hate his character. And I thought, okay, if I were to make this character of Hades like the, Christian Grey, it would redeem the character of Christian Grey for me in a way. You know what I mean? I know that's weird. That's just like too much thinking, but I do that.
No, that seems like the right amount of thinking, like
Yeah.
imagining. Yeah, we had a lot of questions, both about the world of the book and who this guy was and why he was bad, or was he bad? So I think
we should get into it.
I think we need to get into it to figure out. We have a lot of questions.
Okay, great. I'm happy to answer them. You've come to the right person, me. I know a lot about mythology and a lot. So good job. So we are reading and reviewing today Neon Gods, which is the Dark Olympus book 1. Yes, folks, it is over $5. I know, but I loved this book so much. I'm so glad you guys read it. So I decided that it is around $3.70 should you split this book with someone, which as a, cheap person like myself, I recommend. Or should you have an Audible subscription, depending on how much you use Audible, which I assume most people a lot, it is one Audible credit. So I have made this book meet the parameters of Too Stupid to Live. Okay. Right. Yes. So
I'm glad we're not kicked out before this even begins.
Listen, this is my show. I can make the rules. And if anyone's mad about that, then turn it off, baby. Okay. So here's a quick synopsis. And by quick, it's kind of long because I had fun with it. Okay. If you thought the myth of Hades and Persephone was an allegory about the changing of the seasons, it's time to retake Mythology 101, folks. And this time, you better have a safe word. When she's forced to marry Zeus, the leader of the 13, which is the governing body of modern day Olympus, Persephone, a socialite who is smarter than people give her credit for, boldly races across the river Styx and finds sanctuary in the lower city, the area ruled by Hades. And with Hades' hedonistic reputation, you would think Persephone would become a tarnished woman by being in his presence. But she's in for a surprise because with Hades, she becomes what she's truly meant to be, a worshipped goddess.
All right. Nice.
Thank you so much. Wrote this 5 minutes before we started. So yes. Okay. So depending on your questions that you have, I do want to start out by kind of helping people, if they haven't read the book, kind of understand the world of this book, the universe of Dark Olympus. And by people, I mean me, because I was a little confused as well.
You're also confused.
Maybe we can help each other understand.
Okay, good.
Okay, so first question, is there magic? Because it doesn't seem like there is, except Hermes, who can do voices like the guy from Police Academy.
Yes. Here's the thing. That was my first question for you. So we both both parties.
Okay.
I mean, imagine if there isn't magic and Hermes just does that. Like she just goes into places. Hermes is a woman in this book because it's a title.
Yeah.
And she just goes into places and says, I have a message from your mother, and then goes, Persephone, you better come home. And suddenly, or is it magic? I don't know. Or is she is she what is it from Harry Potter? A howler? Is she like a howler from Harry Potter?
Yeah. See, I didn't know. I'm curious if you read reading the next book would answer it, but For some reason, I was picturing like she would come in to a place to send a message and she would just open her mouth and there was like a speaker in her mouth that was like an answering machine.
I mean, I guess because you did watch the Disney version of Hercules, it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you would be seeing. That's what you would be seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I did think, as much as I loved this world, I thought, for me, I'm like, this is clever. That was quite confusing for me.
And then the only other thing that I think could be magic, although maybe I'm missing something, was the bridge and the walls of the city itself. That if you walked across the bridge, you felt physically ill, increasingly so, which would make most people turn away. But I did just read like a science fiction book about this colony of clones, but it wasn't erotic. But they were, but they had hypnotized all the breeders. It really sounds erotic, but it wasn't.
I know, I'm getting Kevin, geez, yeah.
But they had hypnotized them that they couldn't go past this hedge, which was basically just to like keep them in their place because the clones wanted to not be with them. So then I thought maybe it was that, like maybe everybody in the city is just so conditioned to not go over the bridge that it would make you feel sick.
Right,
or maybe it was a magic force field. I don't know.
Oh, that is also in The Descendants.
Okay.
The end of the Descendants movie, they open the bridge to where like the bad, where all the villains live.
Yeah.
And open it up so they can go to the good. So it's very similar.
Yeah. And I think like what makes this world confusing is that like the world itself, the government is the 13, and each like name, like if you were Zeus, if you were Perseus, or if you were Demeter or Hera or whatever, that's the name of the job. It's not like the name of the character. So that confused me a little bit.
Yeah, because she was saying like she was going to go to Berkeley.
Yeah.
And I was like, did they teach Greek mythology at Berkeley, or do the stories not exist at all?
That's a good question. Very good question. And they also make like a Star Wars reference. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, okay, hang on a sec.
It's the kind of it's the zombie movie when they have to go like, the biters are coming. Like do superheroes exist in the Superman world? Like,
right.
He names her puppies Scylla and Charybdis.
Yes.
And I'm curious, is that like, oh yeah, like a reference to that story that isn't true? Or, oh yeah, like a reference to those two real monsters that live somewhere else in the city? Or, oh, what two strange names that you've sort of winkingly given, but they have no bearing. So I don't know which it is.
Yes, I agree with you. I don't know which it is. It didn't bother me. Did it bother? Like I thought about it. Like obviously I was like thinking about it like what, but then I like moved on after maybe 5 minutes of considering it because I was like, my brain's gonna break.
I think it bothered us a lot because we talked about it
constantly.
Okay.
Like we kept trying to figure it out, and Marlene was reading it a little faster than me. She was like, okay, there's a scene where they mention Star Wars, like you said. So then I was reading that, looking for clues, or listening to it, looking for clues. But I wanted to really get the world building.
I don't understand the world, because I feel like if Zeus, this guy, is like killing the Heras, but then Berkeley and Star Wars exist, I feel like the UN would come in and be like, hey, you shouldn't do that.
Yes, exactly. Because it's like, you're absolutely right. It's like, what reality does this take place in? And then also it's like, what is Olympus a country? Like, or is it, do you know what I mean? Like the way.
Is it just like a neighborhood? Is it just literally like, Glendale and Atwater?
It could be. It could very well be.
I thought it might be like a Wakanda situation where it was a hidden country, although I don't know if it's hidden in Greece or maybe it's hidden somewhere else. But maybe it was that they have, maybe they're hiding. I don't know if it's because of magic, because we weren't clear on that.
Right.
But maybe they have some reason that they don't want to reveal themselves to the world, but they have they seem to have some sort of coyote system where you can be smuggled out, but only if you pay a lot of money, which was Persephone's original plan before she fell into the arms of Hades.
Right. Yeah. Her goal, like everyone thought she was like this socialite. She's Demeter's daughter. Demeter, cunning, in charge of agriculture, wink, wink, because she's the god of agriculture, I believe. And she's like, I need to get out of here and go to grad school.
Yes, that's her hope.
Mm-hmm. And for some reason, she has to wait until she's 25, which I didn't understand, which I get the rule.
I think
get
she was
why
like getting the money or something.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I thought she had a trust.
Yeah, the trust or something. So that
was okay. So financial financial like obligations, the rules of finance also that we have also exist in this world where there's a Zeus and he's getting away with killing all of his wives.
Yes,
more or less.
I do believe that Zeus in a position of power would get away with killing all his wives.
It's true. Yeah.
Because I don't think it was like he like straight up like murdered them. I think that they all fell sick or had accidents.
They all just fell off,
Yeah, someone else murdered them and he went like, oh, what a surprise. I never hired that person. Yeah. So I that sounds like something that probably happens in the real world all the time.
I think so. Yeah. Like leaders getting away with murdering wife after wife, UN not stepping in. Okay, here's another thing. Like they mention again and again gossip sites in this world, like TMZ, like a Perez Hilton, and that's like kind of like is needed in terms of like moving this plot forward. So if there are gossip sites, why wouldn't those gossip sites kind of perpetuate this idea of like Zeus is a murderer and kind of getting all of these people influence that Zeus is terrible?
Or also, wouldn't they know about Hades being alive?
Yeah, absolutely.
And having his special parties?
I think it was a TMZ under Trump situation where I think Zeus had an ownership share in the company, or his friend did, and so they were these corrupt gossip sites. So that I think that could work, but so I don't know if the gossip sites are normal gossip sites or if it was maybe like were the river nymphs in charge of or the muses maybe or was it just people? I don't know.
Yeah, it could. I mean, like that could be the name of the publications did you guys read the Muse today? Like Zeus went out for coffee.
What was he wearing?
Yeah, a toga.
I think either could work. I just wish it would be clear. Like, is this where there are like forest nymphs and dryads who are kind of live among us, or is it the wink and nod where it is called I don't know whatever Hephaestus's forge, and that's like, but that's just like that's the bar you go to,
right,
and there is no real thing. And so I do feel like it could have been clearer there, although maybe what I'm assuming the sequel will be about Hercules. Maybe that will explain all this a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. I think the next one is Psyche and Eros, I believe. So maybe again, the more and more books you read, the more and more you kind of understand, even though I do have the criticism of like, this is the first book, it's introducing this world to us, like, make it a tad clearer for, us. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I would like a little magic.
Oh, I would love there to be magic. I would love them to be real gods. Like, I think that would be really cool. Like, this whole time the Greek gods like existed just under our noses. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, totally. Another question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when Persephone is running away from Zeus after she's been told that she has to marry him, and she runs across the bridge, and Hades happens to be there, was that just a coincidence that he was just like waltzing around?
I think so, but I think there's a part in the book where like every night he does rounds, like he just like, maybe he was just doing his rounds. And I think like, he's like checking on different parts of the town, making sure everyone's safe, blah, blah, blah. So I think maybe he was just doing his bridge rounds when she happens to be, racing over.
What kismet for them.
I mean, listen, it's all Greek.
I think this is one of my issues with the book, whereas it is explainable. It's not like this is wrong that Hades was on the bridge, and I think that was the incorrect story. But it's more just like there are a couple ways to explain it if the characters would just talk about it. Like he could be like, yeah, I do the rounds, and she'd be like, what luck that I met him, and that would be it. Or he could be like, I have my spies everywhere, and I knew, and that would also, I feel like, be valid. But they just don't. It just doesn't come up.
Right.
He's just like, I ran across this bridge for the first time in my life while escaping from essentially murderers. I bumped into you, a theoretically mythological figure, who will now take me back to your sex dungeon. I have no questions.
You are absolutely right. Like, I feel like if maybe in this world, like, because technically Hades is part of the 13 of this governing world, like kind of in, Hades is a god. But he's never seen. So like there's a question as to like whether or not he even exists. But even if she knew that he existed, we wouldn't, like, that would be okay too. But the fact that like, oh, whoa, like, number one, you're alive. Number two, you do rounds. Like, like, let's just like answer all these questions.
I just feel very stupid. I went, oh, he's burned because Hades is like in hell. And I just got that just now. And I feel very stupid.
Here's the thing. Upon the reread of that I did, there were a lot of things that I was like, oh yeah, like he, like in the like original myth, like Persephone gets full on abducted and she's literally carried by Hades. And in the beginning of like their meet cute. I don't know. Maybe for this world, who knows? She like she was racing away and she's like walking on top of glass. And so she can't walk on her feet. And so he's carrying her. And then I was like, oh yeah, like the carrying thing. That's clever.
I did think that the book did a good job of taking some of the parts of the myth that maybe wouldn't be so fun.
Yeah.
And doing things like that. I thought the ending, spoilers are okay, I guess.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So like, because in the myth it ends where she's spending half the time with Zeus, but it's pretty clear about halfway through the book, like, oh, I don't think this story is going to go in that direction, and if it does, it's not going to be a very happy one.
Right.
But then they kind of find Katie finds the solution, which is like she's going to go to 6 meetings a year instead of 6 months. So there's like, it's using the myth and it's not just ignoring it, but it's also saying trapping her with this murdering abuser for 6 months is probably not going to be the happily ever after that we're
no one, I don't think anyone would want to read that. Although like it seems like Demeter at the end, because like whatever, Zeus is killed in the end, there's going to be a new Zeus that's coming in the future books, but her mom Demeter is kind of taking on the leadership role of Zeus. Like she's kind of Zeus behind the Zeus, you know what I mean, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, which is interesting. I feel like a lot of times when I've seen images of Demeter, and probably this is just because the world likes war and stuff, Demeter is always kind of like the boring grandma who possibly pats the hero on the head and then doesn't do anything else. So for Demeter to be scheming and conniving, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Demeter is like the goddess of like agriculture and stuff. So even though she's like the grandma in mythology, she's also has a sense of power because she could easily take away the agriculture and people would starve to death, making her kind of more powerful than Zeus. And she kind of does that in the book where like, you know, Persephone is like staging this abduction and she's like, oh, if Persephone doesn't come back, I'm going to cut the agriculture to your food supply is like gonna die out.
which gets back to the world building. I mean, we're steering
We're
away
all
from
over the
sex
place,
so
yeah.
far, but like, so in a city, so there might be magic, and the city might be the real Olympus, and the gods are all titles. So I think that makes sense at least. So then there's the lower city and the upper city, and that's the other main thing. And I guess, I mean, it's a lot of class, right? It's classism. I guess the upper city is the rich part, and the lower city is the low part, or the low part, the poor part. Except it seems really extreme.
It's because, but also like the area seems nice. I don't know if they have a pet store and like a little cafe and stuff. I don't know.
Here's what I thought. I thought the upper city was like old wealth, and the newer city, and the lower city was like new wealth. And in this world, the upper city still looked down upon the people who kind of like started their stores and cafes and made wealth. But the fact that they weren't like born into it, you know, maybe is the class issue. Like they both have nice clothes, but they, you know, the upper city inherited those clothes and the lower city bought them.
Okay, I'll take that.
I got more of a lower class vibe from the lower city, that it was but it was this sort of tropey, you know, we don't have the money, but we have a better culture, and we're all smiling and friends with each other, and like Hades knows them all, and you say hi on the street, but then in the upper city everybody keeps to themselves.
They have their sunglasses on and walk on past you.
Right. Yeah. And so this kind of, again, is like this world where it's like, oh, this whole time we thought the lower cities, we thought the realm of Hades was like this corrupt, depraved world where everyone's having sex on the street and murdering each other. No, that ends up being the good side. And the real corruption is on the upper city with all of these supposed good gods and goddesses.
It's an interesting world. I just, I hope in the next books that, you know, and maybe it's dribs and drabs. Maybe book 2 locks down like this is the magic situation. Maybe eventually you get deep enough in the series and there's a complete understanding.
Or like it slowly introduces the magic, sort of like a Game of Thrones or something.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Okay. I would love to move on about like the premise, because, you know, Persephone escapes, goes to the lower city, meets up with Hades. She is like, I cannot return to Zeus. Hades, can we come off as a couple? I'm going to say that in a way, even though she's like, can we have sex in public so people will see me as this tarnished woman and Zeus won't have to marry me? So there's kind of this twist, like Persephone wants to more or less fake her abduction as opposed to like really be abducted. What did you think about that kind of twist?
I don't want to sound like a prude. I haven't read a lot of romance novels. There was a lot of sex in this book. There was a lot. I guess for me, I feel like I kind of wish Hades was a little bit worse. Like he was just very perfect.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with him, and other than him being burned.
Literally, that's it.
But there was like nothing, he didn't have anything where it was like, he, you know how like the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, you know, was mean to the, to like the candle and everything, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't mean to his workers. He was just perfect.
There's a lot of descriptions, like he walked into the room and it was like a shadow followed him. But what we learn about him is like he takes care of all his friends around him and the people in the lower city. He's smart and protective of them, and thinks about their well-being. He likes dogs.
Puppies, yeah.
He likes puppies.
And he's a little gruff, but not too gruff.
Yeah. He's just, his one quality that kind of makes him intimidating is just brooding. He just broods. And I think people find maybe someone who broods intimidating. And that's his one.
I think he's just introspective.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He understands how to use his words in a minimal way.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But
I
what's
get that the
interesting,
brooding is kind of hot, but it just doesn't give their relationship too much to go. Like at no point does it really seem like, oh, she's gonna dump this guy because he's screwing it up or he's coming on too strong.
yeah, there's instant attraction,
Yeah, they
obviously.
just want to fuck immediately.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting because like I feel like in any other book I'd be horrified. But with this, the way the sex is used, more so than other books, it's not just like, here's a romance, la la la, cut to a sex scene, it's hot, cut back to the plot. It feels like the sex in this book is really perpetuating the plot because it's what they have to do.
Integral to the plot to move things forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
They have no choice but to publicly have sex in order to basically embarrass Zeus and cause him to either not want to marry her anymore, or at least for him to lose face in the eyes of the other, the other 12 or 11. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So in this book, like it was like, there was this interesting balance of like, okay, we have to have sex with each other. Is that romantic? Like that's crazy, like that's insane. But also the author puts in the fact that like, okay, outside of this arrangement, we actually want to have sex with each other. And I think she emphasizes that a lot. That made me feel more comfortable.
There's a lot of consent in the book. And
so much talk about how they're going to have sex, if they're going to use protection or not. Is that a common theme in romance novels, like where there's a discussion of like, hey, I want to raw dog it, are you okay with that?
Well, I mean, I feel like with like raw dogging and birth control, I have seen that before. Like they're getting close, like they're getting closer, like they feel like there's one more barrier, the condom represents that barrier.
Okay.
Toss it out, whatever. With this though, I think like because he was talking about consent with her, and so then when like they talk about like I don't want to use a condom, she isn't just like, it isn't just used as like, oh cool, we're getting closer together. She's like, you need to consent to this. Like I've consented, you need to explicitly consent that you don't want to use a condom. It was a good conversation, I think.
It felt like a really healthy conversation.
It felt a little out of place, I'll say that.
Sure.
I don't want to say that I wish that there wasn't consent.
Right.
Because that would obviously be a very different story and I guess closer to the myth. But it did maybe get in the way of if it was this deal where they have to fuck publicly, they must. Without it being creepy and rapey, like I wonder if there's a way where maybe they were both not into it, but they're like, we have to, and then they kind of grow to it. They're just kind of both really on board, sort of from
just right from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I feel like in terms of like why people read these books, like it is escapism. It is like you want to kind of get away from your daily problems, and these are just easy books. So I feel like with a story like this, like the easier the better. And I think like with just trying to avoid any sort of trigger to any reader, I think was probably smarter, on behalf of the writer, I think.
And given the source material, it just you kind of have to push maybe extra hard against.
Oh my God, yeah. Because like I feel like every Roman myth, every Greek myth, it all involves rape. Like there's nothing not rapey about it, So I think like her number one, I mean, for me, if I were writing this, like my number one priority would be like, how do I not make this as rapey as possible? I'm going to talk about consent, and I am going to talk about consent in the sexiest way possible, which I know for some people may not be the sexiest of conversations.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like a really difficult balance to achieve. And like, I don't have any sense of a better way to do it. It just,
yes,
it just
exactly.
it was something that kind of stood out in this story based on this, not great relationship in the myth, and then updating it, but still kind of, it's a little bit enemies to lovers.
Yes.
But they were never enemies, though. I feel like she was just on board right off the bat.
Yeah. I think like the enemy part was just the perception, was like the public perception. That was the enemy part. But the truth was, the second she's, in his arms going through it, they're not enemies at all. I mean, maybe there's a little animosity.
I wish there was like, a little bit of like when Harry met Sally, like they didn't get along at the beginning. Like he didn't like how she ordered or something. Like, I just want a little bit of a little animosity. That's it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Did you think like, because there was like a little bit when he's like, I'm carrying you, I don't want blood on my carpets because
that is a legit concern. It's hard to get out. He's not wrong.
You're not true.
The beginning part, there is a little bit of hostility when she's kicking him and saying, "Put me down," and then he's bandaging her feet, but that's also putting him kind of close to her nethers.
Sure, yeah.
But maybe I just thought, there should be more of that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Because
the sort of accidental, like putting themselves, the sort of like only one bed trope type situation for them.
Sure. Yeah.
She can't stand him, but they get stuck in an elevator together or something.
Right. Yeah. It was almost like that, a little bit of animosity in the beginning. Like, I feel like their relationship, how do I put this? Was the second they meet each other, the sexual relationship kind of started, and they took on these personas of like, I hate you, I'm carrying you. And it was just like right away, they were like, oh, we're starting our sexual dynamic now. So in a way, she was like, I'm purposely gonna be, kind of like whiny and like wanting you to put me down, a little bratty, which I love that they bring up the term brat a lot. And he's going to be punishy, and it was just like, it's starting, they've both consented to it just with their eyes. So there really is for me, like they were acting out animosity, but I don't think they were totally animosed.
I know. I think I just wanted some animosity. That's all.
I get it.
I just need a little bit of friction. That's all. Other than the other type of friction.
Exactly. Raw dog friction.
Yes.
I get it.
Another thing.
Yeah.
So like for their first public little sex thing that they go to, there's the woman that is tied up.
Yes.
And she gets to like perform and have public sex, but then everybody's just watching them, and I feel a little sorry for her. Like she was probably so excited. She prepared. She'd like send some invites to people, like, you're not gonna believe what I'm doing tonight.
You are so right. I didn't think it's like the woman who wears red to a wedding. You know what I mean? Like
okay, but what if we, instead of taking that as a criticism, what if that was intentional? And actually, the social strata of this is not so clean. So Persephone, despite her, she's kind of like a poor little rich girl. Like, she's super rich, but she's not like those other rich people. But maybe she is.
Right.
And so maybe this woman is like, I don't know, Clytemnestra or some other like some lesser person. Maybe we'll get her point of view, and it's like, we have to go to these parties and watch Persephone and Hades finger bang each other over and over again, and they think we all love it, but we all just kind of have to be there because it's sort of an obligation.
It's kind of like, it's like when you go to like, it feels like it's like kind of like Succession in a little bit, where everyone goes to a work party and they have to watch like, like them rap about the company.
It's like they're kind of like, no. Hades and Persephone are going to do butt stuff tonight. And it's like, okay, I'm sure they're really excited for us to see that.
Yeah, and you have to like clap and be like, cool. And then it's like, oh my God.
You did it, guys.
So the idea of like public sex itself. It seems like, okay, so in, Hades, like, mansion, it's a mansion. He has like a sex dungeon, which is also a club, where people go to live out their depraved, naughty desires. Also, people from the upper city do come, more ways than one. And again, it's very private. And in order for like their little scheme to work, they have to have public sex. Like, what did you think about the idea of like public sex in general? Like, did it cross a line for you?
Crossed a line, but
it seems stressful. It didn't like upset me.
It didn't upset me either. I was like,
no, it just
for
seems,
it. Yeah.
But I feel like you watch it and then what? And you're like, what do you do after? Like,
go to the bar.
Like, I don't know. It's like, do you play Catan after or something?
I think you go to a diner and eat French fries.
I mean, it just seems like, that's 15 minutes. Then when you, after that, it just seems like a lot of time. It seems like a lot of prep work for, for a little show.
Right. So the people who work at the club, they're like, we got to set up the swings. We got to set up this. We got to set up that. And then it's like, we did all of this work for 15 minutes. Everyone's there. And then it's like, fuck, now we got to clean up. We spend more time.
This is what I'm saying. It's this myth of Hades and Persephone as the couple of the people, but really they're like, who's cleaning up the puppies' crap? It's not Hades. It's not Persephone.
No. And they have 3. That's a lot of puppies. That's a lot of work. We have 2 dogs and it's a lot of work.
It's too many.
That was like the funniest part is like, okay, so Persephone and Hades are getting closer together outside of their little scheme. They're falling in love, whatever. He's taking her on a tour. They go to a pet shop or whatever. He sees 3 puppies and like right away, there's no resistance from this brooding, hateful, like remorseful
He's
guy.
Like, of course, we'll take all 3.
He's like, I'm gonna take all 3, babe.
Like, little siren.
Again, I liked it. I don't know why. I just was like,
I actually thought that part was nice because I think that part was preceded by multiple chapters of just finger banging over and over again.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it was like a new level of their relationship, and it was like now they're dating.
Yes.
And it was kind of nice to see them go out and take a walk. And I mean, like, she can describe how beautiful his cock is, but then she doesn't need to like. But then she can also talk about other things.
Right. Yeah.
Are they gonna click train the dog or like?
But that I did think what was really interesting, having not read a lot of romance and certainly not read a lot of erotica stuff, was actually that part, because it normally when you watch or read a romance, well, maybe not if you're reading romance novels regularly, but in my experience, you would have you'd cut away, they'd start to embrace, and you'd cut to the curtain.
Right.
And then it would cut to the next day and they're out shopping and they're buying puppies. And this kind of was just like, you don't cut away, you just kind of watch them go down on each other. And they're into it and they're doing it, and then they thought they were done, but they're gonna go again. And then the morning comes and they do it again in the morning. But then they go out and they go shopping and they buy puppies. It was an interesting use of not editing.
They don't fade out.
Sex was very special.
Yeah.
Like every time. I feel like sometimes sex isn't that special.
Sure. I mean, there's real life sex and then there's romance novel sex, and romance novel sex
like this is sex where like they're staring at each other's eyes, like just intense.
It's very intense. And it's like, I realized rereading it again is that like they have sex alone, or do any sort of sexual act alone, just the two of them, more so than this public sex, which is what you think is going to be like the majority of their encounters, which I like.
He also alludes several times, because she goes like, I've done everything with you, and he's like, you don't even begin to understand the depths of my depravity. But I believe that he fingers her, he gets head, he gives her head, they have missionary style sex.
Sure, yeah.
which, you know, again, it's like, it's all fine, but he keeps saying, you know, she's like, I'm ready for anything you can do to me up
It's
there.
all pretty vanilla.
And
It
he's just like,
is.
you think you're ready, but what would they do?
Yeah.
You think maybe in the epilogue you'd see they're on the back of an elephant.
I don't know. There's like a gangbang or something. I don't know.
But you're absolutely right, because like, you know, the description of like his sex dungeon when she first walks in, there are whips and this and that. Like there's so many supplies, and like you don't see,
But none of them ever get used.
Yeah, again, like I feel like I've like used this term before, but it's Chekhov's whip. It's Chekhov's flogger. You see the flogger, you got to promise the premise and use it.
Yeah, I mean, it like in the movie Secretary, right? When James Spader just like jerks off and leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's really hot for her. Like
Yeah.
Hades he never does any kind of like psychological stuff or any like.
He's not like making her eat peas, you know. You can only have like 3 peas or something, because that's
Right,
hot.
It felt like, if anything, he was the opposite of that, of like, you need to eat 3 meals a day and have enough
Yeah.
vegetables. Like,
Stay off your feet until the bandages are healed.
He was like a nice Jewish mother.
Yeah, that was his like Dom persona of like, you're not eating enough, babe. And then like,
but again, with the counter myth of Hades, maybe this is fine. Maybe this isn't a problem. Maybe it's like he is a guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm into really, really nasty stuff. But then it's just like sometimes I look at porno. Like maybe he just thinks of himself that way. He's bought into his own myth.
Exactly. Yeah. It really was like, I felt like, you know, I've read a lot of shit, you know, and crazy shit. And it's weird to read something like this and not expect like, you know, the most insane thing you can possibly think of, you know, like fucking on an elephant or like whatever. Yeah. But maybe it's because like I have read more erotica stuff than like romancy stuff, and I feel like this is, or for me this book was erotic, but I don't consider it erotica. Like I considered it more of like a romance story, but there are erotic elements here and there, you know?
I don't know. Like, I feel like if he has a sex dungeon, like very specifically, there was like a moment where he said, I'm only going to sleep with you. And I was like, I don't know if you have a sex dungeon. It just seems like, I thought like, oh, well, maybe it'll end where like they'll share Zeus. Like Zeus isn't really a bad guy.
Yes.
Like that's what the relationship will be, like a, you know, a weird threesome or something. And
yeah,
not the case.
Not the case. There was so much more they could have done in that sex dungeon, and I kind of agree with you. Like, you have a sex dungeon, you write it in, gotta use it, folks. Gotta use it. Even if the two of them just went in.
Sorry, what keeps this from being erotica? Is it that there was a little bit more of plot and world building, or?
I think so, yeah. Like I feel like the point for me, and again, I am a fucking out of work comedy writer. Like I'm not, you know, like a erotica writer, but this is for me. For me, I feel like erotica is just sex. Like it's just flowery writing about sex. But I feel like for romance, there is a plot where it's romantic, and there are parts where you're seeing like character development outside of the bedroom. It is like a beginning, middle, and end, happily ever after, versus erotica, which maybe there's a paragraph in the beginning and a paragraph at the end where, you know, there's some sort of emotion. But again, it's all about sex more so than plot, and like the descriptions of sex, and like, you know, and I know like this book, there was descriptions, but comparative to erotica, I mean, it was pretty tame for me.
I think because I read a lot of fiction books and I don't read a lot of romance or erotic novels, I was like, oh, this is a lot.
100%. Yeah.
I was like, this is a lot of sex.
I mean, that's how I felt when I first read a romance, for sure.
I was not expecting so much sex.
I know.
I think it was, or maybe I was expecting like almost sex. Like little, you know, taps on the leg or something.
Marlena taps on the
Oh,
leg.
yeah, I don't know.
From my point of view, and I say this like I have no idea how to write a sex scene. Like I'll be like, her boobs had nipples on one per boob, and like I can't do it. But I did think I did feel like once it was clear that the sex wasn't going to let up. I thought maybe there'd be I thought maybe we'd switch it up like a Showtime softcore or something where maybe Hermes would be there one night and it's like, Zeus is asleep or something, or Hades is asleep, or maybe the sister comes over at one point if she's living with Persephone for a while. And I thought, I don't know, maybe something could happen there. I'm not saying that like it needed to, but it did feel like there was opportunities for that.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like this thing of like, this author is writing a book. She wants to appeal to as many readers as possible. So it's like, oh, if I go too far, if I go too vanilla, that's going to alienate readers. And if I go too spicy, let's say, that'll alienate readers. So I kind of have to like meet in the middle a little bit, and sometimes it did the book maybe a disservice when we want naughty, spicy. So
it's kind of like it was a relatively vanilla relationship couched in a lot of terms of get ready and sex dungeon, and there was public elements of it, but it wasn't like this was some debaucherous city where people were just like screwing on the street all day. She didn't live in Sex Town. Like it was a real city with this one particular thing.
I know, they just felt like the couple that's like at a party that's really macking really hard, and you're like, oh God, they just want us to see them macking.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is that I was expecting that. I was expecting like the second she walks in the city, it's just like someone's fucking over there and they're doing that over there. Cause that's the way they make it sound.
It's supposed to like Amsterdam or something. Like it's a red light district. And it was not. It's a very lovely town. There's like a pretty green house.
Yeah, it seems like a nice place to live. Like it, better than the upper city, where it's probably, I don't know, sounds like a terrible place to live.
The rents are really expensive.
Man, and Hades makes sure everything is rent controlled. Like he's a good leader of the lower city. Okay. So should we talk about some of the themes of the book? Because like I feel like there is this theme of power and what is power, whether it's sexually between them. Like you have this relationship with Hades and Persephone, and Hades does take on this dominant sexually thing, but it feels like Persephone is the one who really has the power in the relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but Hades would do anything for her.
Yes.
Like kill somebody.
Whoa, what a scene. He more or less kills Zeus. Kind of.
Sort of. I kind of like pushed him over and it was like, oh no. But...
It was manslaughter or godslaughter, not
They fight and then Zeus goes out the window. I mean, it was the heat of the moment.
It was, yeah. It was like Beauty and the Beast where like Gaston accidentally falls in the end. It was one of those things. And so the scene, the public sex scene where he like, I kind of understood the power dynamic here of like all this time, like she's sitting on his lap, like giving him a blowjob, blah, 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 bowing before him. He bows before her to, perform oral sex. And that was like this major symbolic gesture of like, hey, folks, I may be Hades, but this is the lady I pray to.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a cool scene. And then he has the narration. He goes, when he first sees her, he goes, she looks like a fucking queen. And then later on, he goes, no, she's a fucking goddess. So I think there's a a nice.
Oh, I did like that every time she said, oh, gods, with the S at the end.
It was very Battlestar Galactica. I liked it.
Oh, when you listened to it on tape, was there a different narration for the Persephone and Hades, or was it the same person?
They switch off chapters, so it wasn't like two actors moaning at each other. It was like it was there was the Persephone actress, and then there was the Hades actor, and then it's pretty much every other chapter. I think there's like one exception.
So how were the narrators? Like, what did they do a good job?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. Although I listening to it as an audiobook didn't give any clues about whether Hermes was speaking with magic or not.
I understand that. I can understand that. Yeah.
No, I thought that they did a good job of I mean, it does make it a kind of a personal thing to have somebody saying that in your ear, especially since it is an audiobook. I'm like in a Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Kind of putting the sound down a little bit just in case.
Oh yeah, listen.
But no, I thought they did a good job with it.
Yeah, I feel like the person who like I guess because I'm listening to an audiobook right now and there's like a male narrator and like he sounds so much like a 60s, like a guy in his 60s who teaches acting at Emerson College of just like, and my cock was very hard for her. And so it was like, just like, you know, like it feels like he's like going to like during the day, he like, you know, is reading this erotica, but then at night is teaching like Shakespeare, you know, and it was like, so I'm like curious as to like how Hades sound, like, was there a sultriness to it or like did the way he read it kind of did it take you into the story or was his voice taking you out of the story?
I thought it took me into the story. I was pretty enamored of Hades, and like when Marlena, when you were reading the line, she looked like a fucking queen. You laughed out loud. But when I heard it, he was like, she walked down the stairs. She looked like a fucking queen, and I was like, all right. So yeah. I think I actually felt like maybe they did a particularly good job.
It enhanced your experience instead of me just reading it on my phone.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. Yeah. I mean, I do like for the, not for the podcast, I always read because I feel like I want to take notes, but for every other book, I listen and read at the same time, like depending on what I'm doing, if I'm not doing anything or if I am doing something. And so like, I feel like with the voices, like, for me, it is so integral that they be good, you know, and I feel like I'm like, as a performer myself would hate that kind of criticism of like, you have to be good or you die. But like, I feel that way with narrators.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, if you get the audiobook, she kind of has a little bit of a Mary Sue-ish voice, which sort of fits her. And he's gruff, generic British.
Yeah.
He's British?
Ooh.
And you know, that kind of, but like that sort of like British / upper class sort of mix of those two things.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, I have a question for you guys. What kind of myth would you like an erotic retelling of? Your options are Rip Van Winkle, The Headless Horseman, Paul Bunyan, or other, should another idea come to mind. But Rip Van Winkle, Headless Horseman, or Paul Bunyan.
I'm going to go Headless Horseman, but only because we watched the Disney version recently. And the girls in it are stacked.
Yeah.
They have really good breasts in it. And I just feel like Ichabod Crane.
The Disney version strongly implies that Ichabod Crane fucks the entire town. There's like a scene where all these women go in for a piano lesson.
They're like walking out, like just like wiping their hands. Like,
oh my God.
He's like lying in a pit of, like, he's like on a beanbag chair, like eating a cantaloupe, like sweating at the end of his piano lessons.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. And is this, the Disney version is Johnny Depp? Is that the?
Oh, no. This is the cartoon.
Like the 1930s Disney
it's like 1950.
Oh,
yeah.
mama, before the MPAA ratings. They were just going to town on that guy.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus if you would like to watch it.
Listen, I'm watching it after this thing.
I like, all right, I'm gonna go with the Rip Van Winkle. And and here's the premise. He's from a Victorian era where everybody's very repressed. He's probably not like 100 years old and has a long white beard, but negotiable.
Sure.
But
This is your interpretation of it, so you can do whatever you want with it. Yeah.
So he wakes up and it's modern day, and the sexual energy is different. And so he goes to like a beach or something.
Or like Coachella or something.
Yeah, he goes to Coachella. And it had just been like prospectors and people, and suddenly it's all these like people in skimpy clothing, and he doesn't know what to do. And somebody's gonna have to teach him what the world's all about now.
I love that idea. I think that, listen, Katie Robert, if you're listening, or should you want to write it on your own, Kevin, I think you got a hit there. All right, I'm going to ask you guys for your final thoughts and a rating. Now, in terms of the rating, based on this story, as we talked about, Hades loves puppies. So 3 out of 3 puppies means it was the best thing you ever read. 1 out of 3 puppies means it was the worst thing you ever read. You can use half a puppy. I don't know. But I know you guys aren't, that versed in romance. So like, I'm saying rated on like how much you enjoyed the experience of reading this book, despite the anachronisms, for lack of a better word.
I guess I'll give it 2 puppies. It wasn't the worst thing I've read. It was an experience.
Yes.
It has brought up many discussions between Kevin and I in the last 2 weeks. So I appreciate it for how it made us think.
Oh, that's great. Listen, I think that's the point of books sometimes, makes you think.
Yeah, I'm also at 2. I think there were things that I kind of thought were silly and laughed at, but I don't think it's bad for a story to have silly things that make you laugh in it. And I have questions about the world that weren't fully answered. But again, like I was saying with the bridge, like it's not wrong. It's just that wasn't in the book, and I kind of wonder what the answers were. We've certainly talked, like me and you, Marlena, we've spoken about this book way more than, like usually I'll just read a book about like what if libertarians were on a spaceship, and we don't really talk about that at all.
So you're saying this book brought you guys closer together.
Yeah.
I will take responsibility for that. I'm glad it brought you two closer together. I give this book 17 puppies out of 3.
That's too many puppies.
I know, it's so much to take care of.
So much to take care of. You need so many poop bags.
I know. They already adopted them. They're all over the place. But the thing is that I liked it because of the funny parts. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, listen, I was tickled pink when I would like read something that was just so ridiculous. It was like great, life's hard. It's 2022. The world's terrible. This I'll read and take me out of it for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, that totally makes sense. And honestly, that was the one thing about the ending that I wasn't sure about, was they were still doing it at the end. And I did wonder, I guess they really liked doing it, and maybe that's the explanation, but it did seem like at a certain point, are they going to move on from the public sex parties? Maybe they don't want to move on from them. Maybe I'm putting my own weird morals on it or something like that. But it seemed pretty clear like this was a scheme to get Zeus down, and then we don't have to do it anymore. And I get that they're not going to break up at the end of the story, but do they have to keep having these parties? The parties seem like a lot of work. And
do you send out an Evite? Is that a text?
But the thing is that I don't think Hades does any of that work. I think he hires people. Maybe there's like a social media person working part-time out of their college dorm who's doing all that work, making, $30 an hour,
Good for them. That's a good wage.
That's what I think it is. Like, I feel like if I were, on my own planning a sex dungeon party, first of all, planning like 2 people coming over, planning one person coming over my house gives me panic attacks.
What if you threw a
I would
sex dungeon
die.
party and like not enough people showed up? And what a bad feeling that would. So I was worried about Persephone a little bit at the end, but maybe if they have an intern, then maybe it's okay.
But is there like a B and C list that you go to when you don't get like the RSVP back?
Yeah, the alternates of like, hey, like you're my third tier friend, so I'll let you come. Like, I'll let you come to my sex dungeon party. Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being guests. This was so fun.
Thank you for having us.
And really, it's not this style of books we would.
Oh no, it was very weird being in bed reading the book and then having you next to me, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like watching porn reading this book.
Like, I was like sleeping.
Yeah. it felt weird.
Yeah. Do you think you would read more after this experience? You can 100% say no, because I know this book was crazy wild. It's a crazy wild book to like be your first romance book. I will acknowledge that. Do you think you would read and or listen to more? You can say no.
No, probably not. I mean, I'll read a mystery novel, which I feel like has its own trope of things. I mean, it depends. Yeah. I didn't read 50 Shades or Twilight, so I missed out on that entirely. I mean, I think it depends on the characters.
You're right. I agree with you. Yeah. I would do that. Yeah.
I'm very taken in by a series. And
I'm reading the next one.
Even starting the book, I was kind of thinking like, oh, it'd be fun to do an Orpheus story in this, and then Orpheus is in this one, and I was a little bit bummed because apparently he's a dick. But I'm really excited. I want to know about Hercules, so I could.
I think Orpheus will come
on Audible. You got to listen to something at Trader Joe's.
Exactly. What else are you going to listen to? Like, guns, germs, and steel? Like, no.
I'm interested in this genre because it really is true. I cannot. I think with a lot of writing and story stuff, I have some sense of how it works. Hopefully.
Come on.
But
you have a sense of how it works. Jesus, Kevin.
But not this. Very much not. Which kind of makes it a challenge to want to confront it a little bit more. And
see if you could write your own erotic.
I'll tell you, at this point, I can't. I actually can't. So it would be interesting to see. Yeah.
I mean, I've read a lot of, even for this show, self-published erotica by people who probably have never written erotica before. Not gonna lie, some of the best books I've ever read.
I buy that. I mean, if there's something interesting and exciting in it, then yeah, right?
Totally. Get it on. You know what I'm saying? Get that right on. Well, thank you guys again. This was delightful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. For more podcasts you'll love, visit frolic.media/podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
Did you know that most vitamin D3 supplements come from sheep's wool? I'm Kat, founder of Ritual. We're making traceability the new standard for the supplement industry. When I was pregnant, I couldn't find a multivitamin I could trust, so I created my own. Ours is made traceable, third-party tested, and clean label project certified. Oh, and our vitamin D3? It comes from sustainably harvested lichen from England, not sheep. Trace for yourself with 25% off at ritual.com/podcast.